Hi there, I've got a message for you today that someone is wanting to contact you, that they're almost writing messages out, emails and stuff, but they're not sending them, okay? You possibly feel this yourself, but they're not sending them. I'm just going to have one card before we get into this deeper. Just what's going on here. It was my fault, but I blamed you. Okay, that's why they're not hitting send. Right, because they've messed up, basically, in a nutshell. They're scared. They're scared to send a message because they made a mess. Okay, they blamed you. So I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to look at the energy with my tarot deck, what's going on in their environment, okay, as to why now, why do they want to come back now? Because obviously this was a messy end, or not a very pleasant ending for you, because you got all the blame. They were obviously very, very stuck in their ego, I'm hearing, and they just didn't even understand I think they did understand what they'd done, but they didn't want to admit it. So let's see, let's have a look. I'll give these a shuffle. Oh, that's one. There we go. Overall energy. Right. Six of Swords. We'll get to that in a minute. Just while I'm shuffling though, I hope you're well. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your support. It's really, really kind of you. If you would like a reading, just click on the title of the video, okay? The links are underneath in the description box, and all the readings are on the website. Also check out the free relationship report, and if you're new here and you want to see more content, please hit the subscribe button. That helps the channel, and again, thank you for all your support. Okay, they think you've moved on, but they want to come back, because when it flipped out, you saw it flip out, okay, it kind of came out sideways. So what I'm hearing is that you've moved on, all right, you've moved on. You're like, no, not doing this. You blamed me. I'm hearing, it's like a saying we have, you made a monkey out of me. They made you look a fool, okay, because I'm hearing that you were telling people what had gone on, and yet they were painting a completely different version of events. All right, so you've moved on, you've been healing, you just basically, the Six of Swords, you wanted calmer waters, you'd had enough. And I think you were very hurt by the fact that they just ran away. Okay, but the Six of Swords in reverse is all about somebody coming back. All right, they haven't moved on, okay? They are looking back specifically at the conversations that you had, and I'm just hearing that their agenda, I think you found out specifically they had an agenda, not a particularly nice agenda. You felt used, very, very hurt, all right? Now, you could have been dealing with an Aquarian, all right? Six of Swords, first card out. So that is specifically second decan Aquarian energy. So don't quote me. I think it's maybe from about the 28th to the 10th or something. Okay, something like that, but it's Aquarian energy. Also, what's come out is that you stood your ground. Okay, so you've moved on. You've stood your ground, even though you weren't prepared for this. You didn't really see this coming, particularly, okay, but you have stood up for your beliefs. You've had a lot of fighting to do, maybe through the court systems, or divvying up, as we say in the UK, of possessions, but you've had to fight, okay? Your person really did try and back you into a corner, okay? And you had to hold your own while they were taking the high moral road, which was actually not right at all. It was all made up, because their energy now is that they admit defeat. Okay, that they realise that they've lost you and that all along you were the prize. Okay, they want to come back in, I feel, and tell you that it was their fault. Now, if somebody is actually getting to a point where they will admit it was their fault, you're halfway there. But I will go into it a little bit deeper just to make sure that they're not doing it because they've got their ass backed into a corner or they've gone broke or, something like that. Okay, so we will go into the environment. But I do feel that with that first card that came out, this one, they know they blamed you, and boy, they did blame you. Okay, they did blame you. All right, they refused to compromise. They were very stubborn, very, very rigid, very closed down. Just really not very nice at all. They weren't very nice at all. Okay, you could also have been dealing with fire signs as well, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. But do you feel there's trouble coming with this person? I just got to ask you that. Do you feel there's trouble coming with this person? Do you think you would be going out of the sort of frying pan into the fire energy with this person? Even though I do hear that they are more genuine than they're not. Okay, have you got the energy left? I'm hearing to ask you that. It's like Spirit's giving me some questions to ask. Have you got the energy? Because you can change things, But the old story has to go. And I say this in a lot of my readings, because if you reconcile with the old story still playing, then there'll be problems. All right, there will be problems. But have you got the energy? Do you want to change your story? Can you be bothered? Can you be bothered? Because for you to get to the calm after the storm, because you were blamed, you could have been, this could go as deep as somebody lying about you to get out of their financial obligations, their caring obligations. It could be an energy where I've seen it, people separate and the one person just decides it's all the other person's fault and makes everything so difficult for them. I feel that this person made things difficult for you. Okay, not satisfied with, doing what they did. They weren't even very kind. I don't know if you've got the energy. I don't know why I keep saying that. I just really, really do feel that. Let's just get this deck out first and then I'll go into the environment. Hustling. It's almost, I just feel, the message here is for somebody who ended up having to hustle. You ended up having to hustle to get what was rightfully yours. What should have been... Anybody with half a heart and half a soul wouldn't have done what they did to you when the relationship ended. Like, you had to hustle, okay? That you've been very focused on trying to sort out your own stability, and that's drained you, okay? Not only have you had the emotional heartbreak and all of that, you've also physically, it's made you tired. And that's why I keep hearing that, have you got the energy for this? Do you really want to go back into this? Yeah, some of you have just got this person blocked, okay? Just totally blocked and ignoring. I want you to look at that image actually. I don't know if you can see that. You see that cat, right? That lovely cat. It's like lying there as if to say, you know what? Go away. I've got peace now. I don't want to go through that again. It's like it's taken time for you to get to a point. Your peace is more important, okay? Your peace is more important. Yeah, bottom of the deck, love triangle. You know, third parties. It doesn't always have to be romantic. Third parties can mean, you know, them putting friends before a destination or family, okay? But you always felt there was an extra spoke in the wheel of your relationship. Right, okay. Let's have a look at their environment. Let's have a look at their environment. Why? What is going on here? They are ending a cycle. Okay, there's something that they've done or they've been in or whatever they've been doing that they thought was going to be a success, that they thought they would have some massive achievement and that it was all going to work out. But they're ending this cycle, they're closing something out. Now it's something quite major. They might even be making a physical move, okay? But it's something quite major. It's not a day-to-day thing. So if they moved, they're thinking of moving back. They went into another relationship, they're closing that out. If it's their career, whatever it is, okay, they're closing it out. They haven't had the amount of success with this that they thought they were going to get. All right, and they are disappointed. They are disappointed. They thought this was going to bring them, I think, everything they thought it was going to bring them. And they were so sure of themselves. I'm just hearing someone say, I was so sure of myself, I didn't need to take the blame. I was so sure of myself, I didn't need to take the blame. When they did that and they closed that door, they did not feel that they would ever have to be accountable for what they did. Okay, so now my energy, my spidey senses are telling me they are going to make some form of move, but they might not have a lot to bring, and that they're down on their arse. I just heard, excuse my language, but I just heard they're down on their arse. Okay, they're looking at their options. They're looking at their options. Okay, they're very self-absorbed with. They're not sure what to do. I think your person can be a little bit of a fantasist at times, okay, but I feel that's what's going on here, in all honesty, today. Knight of Wands. They're going to move, okay? They're going to move, all right? Now, the Knight of Wands for me is a card of exes returning, but it's also a card of how long do they stay. I think that's what you feel, okay, that going back to that, have you got the energy for this? Yes, they will come back in, the Knight of Wands. Yes, they are looking at making a move, okay, it will be a quick decision. But they were so arrogant and reckless when you separated, and they can be quite a show-off, that you're not, your peace is more important, okay? Your peace is more important. Yeah, 9 of Cups reversed in their environment. 9 of Cups reversed, yeah. They're looking back at the decision they made to walk away. They thought it was over with you. They thought they thought they were walking into everything that they'd ever dreamt of, whatever it is. However, the 9 of Cups in reverse is shattered dreams, okay? It's unhappiness, it's misery, it's lack of fulfillment, but it's lack of success, and that project or that big thing hasn't worked out. Okay, what do they really want? What do they really want, please? God, 9 of Cups again in the reverse. You saw me shuffle those. I'd be careful. I would be careful. Okay. I just feel that when they closed that door, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing because they made things so difficult for you. What else do they really want, please? What's really going on, please? Strength in reverse. Yeah, they've failed. They failed. Whatever it is, it's gone tits up. Okay, they failed at it. They've not got any energy left. But they are very seriously looking at making a move and moving on. They don't like to lose, okay? But that's why they're feeling pretty inadequate. Their confidence has taken a big hit with something, okay? Their confidence is taking a big hit. And I feel that you were so kind and you cut this person a lot of slack, which means you gave them a lot of chances. You cleared up after them. You just made that. You were the power behind that made their life run easy. They saw something else they wanted to do, thinking that they didn't need you to do it. Closed the door. Just literally blamed you for the whole goddamned lot of it. And that thing has failed. All right. Okay. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Pentacles. So they feel left out where they are. It's not working. They could have financial hardships. Spiritually, they're empty, 5 of Pentacles. Okay. There could be health issues here as well. They could, with the Strength in reversed and the 5 of Pentacles, there could be health issues. It could be stress related because this thing isn't working out. All right. But they're just definitely going through some bad luck at the moment. But I just want, oh gosh, 5 of Pentacles, bottom of that deck as well. Double messages today, everyone. Okay. If your person, if you're watching this and they went to start something that involved a new business, a new this, a new that, it's not working. Let's see what they're going to do. What are they going to do? That flew out. Yeah, they are going to make an attempt to come in. Okay, yeah, they're going to ask you for a new beginning. All right, yeah, they are. 3 of Cups, yeah. They're hoping that you will meet them halfway. They're hoping that you can find common ground. Okay, I just heard they're hoping you've calmed down. I don't think you're going to go for this. And they want a new beginning, especially if you've been separated for a while. They want to wipe the slate clean, like none of it happened. And that's, before I finish this, that's what I'm getting. Have you got the energy to reinvent this relationship without that old story playing, without all those triggers? Okay. And 3 of Cups, reconciliation card. Okay. So they possibly ask you to go out on a date or meet up for a drink or something. Before I wrap it up though, my overall with that, I'm hearing, it's transient. Okay, it's transient. I feel it would last a certain amount of time. I feel you would go on some really fun times and maybe have some laughs. But I still feel they have this energy of recklessness and moving on to different things, okay, without completing what they finished. So I'll leave that with you anyway. Look after yourself and remember, protect your peace. And no is the best word you can ever have. It's okay to say no in many spheres of your life, okay? You do what makes you happy. You just be you, all right? Because you deserve to be, okay? You're not here to heal other people. Be selfish. Remember, you are chosen. You are the best. You are a god, a goddess. You are up there, okay? You are unique. Absolutely, totally unique. So look after yourself. Bit of a heads up here. I'm a little bit, I don't know, fool in the Three of Cups. Are they just looking for a good time again? Alright, so I'll leave it with you anyway. I'll stop wittering. I love you very much. Just remember who you are, okay? Just remember who you are. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.